Welcome to the AMSDynamics.com podcast. AMSDynamics.com. Let us be your dynamic business solution.
Hey, I'm Ash.
And I'm Tiny.
We're with AMS LLC, AMSDynamics.com.
Let us be your dynamic creative solution.
So we've just finished up a five-part series of startup. Now we're starting a brand new one here. This is great for business owners.
Yes.
This is brand identity.
Brand identity. Now, we just finished up the 5-part on small business startup.
Yeah.
And the 4 pillars that we feel like people need to have in place before they take that first step, that plunge into small business ownership.
Idea, problem solving, overcoming fear, useful versus entertaining.
Absolutely. And so now here we are. We have fired up. We've got those 4 pillars in place. We've taken the plunge. We have fired up our business. And now we're going to work on really carving out the identity of your brand. Because whether it's a service-based business, a product-based business, whether it's an informational business, whatever it is that you're doing, it's your brand. You, the owner, you, the entrepreneur who started this thing, it's really personal. It's attached to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's your baby.
Yeah.
You're starting a business. This is like, I want to do this. I want to be successful, and I want to give this service to people.
And you want to bring value to the community.
Yes.
When people feel like you're not bringing that value, it's almost like somebody telling you one of your kids is ugly.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's right or wrong. It's the truth. And you don't want that feeling, but you need the feedback, but you don't want the feeling.
Yeah. Oh, you can always redirect. The cool thing about being a business owner is you can redirect. The bad thing about being a parent to an ugly child, there's not much you can do about it.
Wow. Moving along. So when you're trying to carve out your brand identity, you've got some things that you want to think about. The most important thing is, number one, what value am I bringing to the community? Mm-hmm. What is it that I'm doing that makes this worth it for them? We talked already about being useful versus being entertaining. What am I doing to entertain them? What am I doing that is useful for them?
Right.
That's a pivotal cornerstone to your brand identity. Once you isolate what it is that you're really doing that brings them value, you can start figuring out how to carve out an identity that highlights that for the community.
So we talk about brand identity. You're not talking about actual logos or nothing. You're talking about the overall essence of your brand, of your business.
The logo will play a part in it.
Yeah.
Logos play a part, your taglines, your bylines, the colors that you choose for your marketing and for your advertising, the colors that you choose in your location if you've got a brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
Think about it's the entirety of the customer's experience of interacting with your brand.
So like example of like you said, coloring. Like you could go to a strip mall and scan and you can spot a T-Mobile store in a heartbeat.
Yep.
That pink. You can go anywhere in the world. If you see that yellow and red, you're like, McDonald's. Subway has the green. You know what I'm saying? So in
your head,
yeah,
close your eyes and picture an American Eagle store. Okay, close it. You see that. You see those soft pastel colors. Mm-hmm. You see the wood, the paneling kind of colors.
Yeah.
Right now, picture a Hot Topic.
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Yeah.
And that experience, that customer experience, when you go to a Hot Topic and you have to walk through that castle archway, it's made out of foam and it's nothing.
Yeah.
But it looks like a castle archway. You walk in, the walls are black. There's red
T-shirts
popping
everywhere.
It's a very different customer experience for that brand. And the colors help. The logo helps. The music that they play in there helps.
Yeah.
When I worked, I briefly worked at Abercrombie and Fitch. Is that necessary?
I can just see you posing black and white photo.
Is that? Are we having this conversation? Or
did you fold shirts and walk around?
I did. I folded shirts. I had my shirt tucked in just in the front like this, and I walked around folding shirts.
I'm sorry.
Are we having this conversation, or are we? Anyway,
go ahead.
Every hour there was somebody who was assigned the task of getting the Abercrombie and Fitch cologne and spraying it in each of the rooms in the entire store.
That's
part of the experience of going.
It's their branding, it's their identity.
It is their branding. And so, I mean, the people that work there, they're wearing the Abercrombie and Fitch clothes.
Right.
They're wearing them a certain way. There were posters up that showed you how to go about wearing the clothing. You couldn't wear the shirt with it, the shirt tails completely out. You had to tuck it in just right here. Couldn't tuck it all the way in. Tuck it in just right here.
That's amazing. That was very dedicated.
They're very specific about it because that's
the
brand identity that they wanted to put forward. Now, this is a long time ago. I don't know how they do it now, but this was a long time ago. That's how they were doing it then.
I'm not cool enough to wear that clothing anymore. I just go to Walmart and get Route 66 or Kohl's. Well, Walmart, Route 66, and Kohl's, they got a lot of Levi brands. You know what I'm saying? It's a big store. It's kind of hard to compare, but like it's hard to explain. Branding, like, okay, so you can go to a Pizza Hut,
Yes.
versus a Domino's.
Okay.
All right, they're competitors, sell the same product essentially, but one you could go and see an old Pizza Hut building has a certain architecture to it. That's part of their branding, part of the theme. You go in there, they got a jukebox. Domino's is like, come and eat, or we deliver to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's part of the branding of the company.
It's part of the brand identity. It's part of because the customer experience when you go into a Pizza Hut, like you said, it's a full blown restaurant.
Yeah.
They've got
When I was a kid,
they got the jukebox, they got the salad bar.
Yes.
And the Pizza Hut has that the roof looks
Very
like that
specific.
big red hat that it's the building's wearing. And so you can go in there, you can sit down, you can have the experience, you can have a waiter or waitress come to your table, the whole thing.
I'm getting hungry for Pizza Hut now. Because thinking about the smells, the looks, the music, I started reminiscing, going, man, I miss Pizza Hut sitting down and eating.
But then in your mind, picture like a Sal's pizza counter.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and it's just you walk in right to the counter. And you place your order, they make it, you stand there waiting, they make it, they hand it to you. It's a whole other experience.
Yeah.
But it's a whole other experience. And Sal owns the place. There's just one that it is not a chain.
That's his brand identity.
That's a brand identity.
Yeah.
That's part of the brand
That's
identity.
what his outgoing feature is of him. That's what he draws people in with. Some people like that, some people like other stuff.
Yep. And so when we talk about brand identity, there's a few different things that go into it.
Yeah.
We delved in deep into primal branding.
Yep.
And so brand identity, the primal branding concepts, I would suggest anybody go back and listen to those podcasts.
Yep.
And definitely get a copy of Patrick Hanlon's
I tell you
book.
what, I'll put a playlist on the show notes of this podcast.
I like that.
Okay.
And we'll put a link to learn more about Patrick Hanlon's book.
Perfect.
Primal branding. But the primal branding, because you brought up logos.
Yeah.
Do logos come into play? Yes, definitely, because during this primal branding phase, the icons is one of those things, and the icons of a brand absolutely change the customer experience. And so that definitely comes out with that brand identity. We talk about the Nike swoosh, we talk about the Tesla T, we talk about the Adidas logo.
Oh, hell, I just talking about the T-Mobile, that T with the two black dots beside it, pink sign.
Yep.
T-Mobile.
It's visible from
Verizon has that red check. Or red V, I'm sorry.
It's a red V, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's logos.
Logos, that's the icon. So the primal branding definitely comes into play.
Yeah.
We've talked before about the creation story of things. Creation story, the creed, that mission of the brand, the icons, the sacred words, the things that only people on the inside of the brand would know. That customer experience is very, very important for carving out that brand identity. Mm-hmm. And lots of places have done this very, very well. Starbucks is a great example of this.
Yeah, that's true.
They make a very, very specific customer experience. The idea of, well, I'm going to run in here and I'm going to pay $5 for a cup of coffee that I could have made at my house, and maybe I'll pick up a sandwich and a Josh Groban CD while I'm at the cash register.
Yeah,
that's to brainstorm that. It almost sounds absurd.
Yeah.
But because of the brand identity that they've created and the customer experience that they have generated inside their stores, when you go in, it becomes a place where people make decisions that they wouldn't otherwise make. I'm not criticizing. That's brilliant marketing. That's so well done. I mean, the sounds of a Starbucks,
the smells
of a
atmosphere and the
Starbucks.
smell.
I don't like coffee. I hate coffee.
I do too.
I hope we don't lose any of our audience. But
I just don't drink it. I love the smell of coffee.
there it is. I will never drink coffee. Never. But I will walk into a Starbucks and I'll just stand there, and the smell of it is so good.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden when I smell that, I think to myself, yes, I do need some pastries.
Yeah. I want to sit here in this open area.
I need a muffin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always get hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate. If I want caffeine, I get soda. It's me personally. But I'm like you. I don't like coffee. But I tell you, I love the smell. I love walking into a Starbucks and smelling it.
That customer experience, that brand identity. When somebody says, "Oh, do you want to meet at Starbucks?" Yes, I will meet
That's
with you.
That's a great place to sit and talk.
I'm not going to spend a nickel on coffee, but I will definitely meet you at a Starbucks, and by the end of it, I'm going to eat something. I know I am.
Yeah.
They have created that immersive experience. Such a good example of brand identity.
Yeah. Well, think about this. McDonald's has comparable good coffee. People say, I don't go to Starbucks, I go to McDonald's for coffee because it's cheaper. But you think of McDonald's, you don't think of coffee. That's not their brand identity.
No. Do you think burgers?
Burgers, real estate.
But they're taking steps towards carving out, I won't say a different brand identity, a new brand identity.
Yeah.
So they're saying, you know what, we have absolutely ruled over the burger lane for so long. We have the opportunity now, we can carve out this coffee lane, this gourmet drink kind of lane.
Yeah. So for our listeners starting a business or something, what are some considerations they need to think about as far as their brand identity? It's hard to pick it exactly because every business is a little different. But what are the kind of like the
each business is going to, so the entrepreneur who's starting this enterprise, they have a keen awareness of their creation story for their business. So their business's creation story is going to be the first steps towards creating that brand identity and carving out what they want to be that customer experience. Then we talked about the cornerstone of determining exactly, specifically, what value are we going to bring to the customer, to the consumer, to the people that we want to involve in our community.
Right.
Once you've determined what that value is, then you can begin to lean into, this is the value we're bringing. This is how we're going to bring it. Now, this is the experience I want my customers, my followers, my fans to have when they take on that customer experience. That is how the brand identity begins to take shape. At that point, we can start talking about logos, icons. The sacred words, they happen themselves. The verbiage that is unique to your brand, that happens on its own. You don't create it, it just becomes. This podcast is brought to you by AMS LLC out of Greensboro, North Carolina. AMS LLC is a full-service business consultation firm that provides tax services, accounting, and bookkeeping and payroll. And then there's a division that Ash and I work in, AMS Dynamics. We provide creative solutions, including logo design, videography, photography, website, social media, anything that you need for your creative solutions for your business.
That's right. On our website, if you go to amsdynamics.com, you want to book an appointment for any of those things or a consultation, check it out. Book now up top corner, set up a schedule with us, come on to the office, or we can do it via Zoom or by phone call or however is more convenient for you.
And the website has a comprehensive list of all the services that we provide, along with a description of each one, and you can contact us and find out more information about it. Check out amsdynamics.com. So once those those primal branding steps, you take those have taken place. The icons, the rituals, the sacred words of primal branding, those are going to continue on for the entire life of your business because new products, new services, new methods of approach, those will bring in new rituals for your customers to enjoy, new sacred words for your followers to use to communicate with one another. And your icons, the logos, will kind of change and morph as things go on and develop. But once those things are in place and moving and that train is going, the next thing that you want to make sure is to keep that train on track. That's where your brand mission comes into play.
Okay.
So the brand mission is essentially the creed from primal branding. The creed of your business is, this is what we hope to accomplish. This is what, as a community, as a brand, we are hoping to accomplish. So that brand mission is what you as the business, and it's what and where you are moving your customers and followers to. Whether it be entertainment, whether it be useful, it's something that you're hoping to move your customers to. Perfect example of this would be Magpul.
Magpul, okay. Magpul is a company that makes firearm accessories.
Yes, so they make firearms accessories. You're absolutely right. And if they were not cognizant of the things we're talking about with brand identity and with branding and the icons and the rituals, Magpul could very easily generate satisfied customers.
Right.
We have made this firearms widget. Here is your widget. I sell it to you for a reasonable price. I send it to you. It gets there when I said it was going to get there. I have your money. You have your product, and we're done. Have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day.
That's not how they do business, though, is it?
No.
No. Most people who are Magpul customers, that's the last thing that they are. First, they are a Magpul fan. Then they're a Magpul student.
Yeah.
Because Magpul, they've got phenomenal icons. Their logos are great. They've got phenomenal bylines and taglines, little sayings that are out there. So first you're a fan. Next thing you know, you stumble upon their YouTube channel or somebody like one of the founders, Travis Haley.
Yeah.
They've got podcasts and they've got content out there that you can learn from. So now you're a student. And then customer almost comes last as an afterthought. You know what? I really like what these guys are teaching me. I have enjoyed taking part in the icons and the rituals and the sacred words of these guys. You know what? I would like some of these products.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, you've got PMAG being the industry standard for your 30-round magazine.
Yeah, because I think originally it was just like hard metal magazines, and now they want this polymer magazine.
Yeah. And now what do you think is more beneficial to the company? To generate satisfied customers for, just a one-off, here's your widget, we're done now, or to generate that brand identity that is subject to a brand mission.
Yeah,
they
most
are
definitely.
So it's not about satisfied customers, which is a phenomenal thing that must be in place. You have to have satisfied customers. When they buy, you've got to keep up your end of the bargain. Reasonable price for a high quality product that they then receive when you said they would receive it. But the satisfied customer isn't enough, because they are moving a brand mission for having well-trained, cognizant, conscientious individuals who are operating firearms in a responsible way.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because that's how I found Magpul. I never heard of them until I bought their training videos.
See?
And I went through, I watched the training videos, and they didn't plaster Magpul all over it. It was just two guys teaching firearms. And they said, this sling is made by Magpul, Generation 1 or whatever, and it had Magpul on the title. That was it. They didn't push it. But I was like, these two guys, I like these guys. And then I found out about Magpul after that.
So it sounds, and I didn't know that story about you. I didn't know that about you when we began this. But so it sounds like, from what you're saying, is that when you experienced their brand identity, it did not, to you, becoming a customer was not their mission. They weren't trying to turn you into a customer. They were trying to teach you.
Yeah.
They wanted you involved in the community and the brand mission.
Yes. That's what I got.
To involve people in the brand mission, this is where we want to move our followers and fans to.
Yes.
At that point, the customer end of it becomes ancillary on your part, but it is absolutely the end to which your followers and fans will likely go.
Because I believed and trusted in them and their training, and it led to their products.
Trust.
And then I was like, well,
it.
their products are just as good as them.
Yep. And so that's why that brand mission comes into play, because you have to have that brand mission. This is where we are moving our community to. And so the brand mission falls right in line with the creed of the primal branding, and that train that you've created and sent out there, you keep it on that track. The customers, if we think of customers as separate from the community members, your customer base comes from your community, but your community is what you're looking to serve. You want to continue to bring value to your community that's in line with your brand mission, and then they become customers as an incidental end result.
Because even now, there's other PMAG companies out there. There's other polymer magazine companies. But I will buy a Magpul
PMAG
over that other company, because I've watched Travis Haley and Chris Costas teach the videos. I believe in them. I learned a lot from them. That was their startup company, and I believe in it. So if I want that M icon on my equipment,
So it's the icon. It's the ritual of having the Magpul PMAG.
That's crazy. I never thought of that.
Even ordering it and getting it in the mail. My PMAG's here.
My PMAG. Yes.
And so that's a ritual. And you can think of lots of other companies that have this exact same thing, where the brand mission continues to move along independent of the customer end of it. And the great thing is now, today, the way business is being done, for them to have a YouTube channel with that type of a following, or a podcast with that type of a following, it's another revenue stream for them.
Yeah.
Whereas marketing used to cost money, these days marketing can now make you money.
Which
it
is
can
crazy,
become a revenue stream.
Golden age
it's
of
beautiful.
new business.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So beyond the brand mission now, so you as the entrepreneur, you have created something. You've put your 4 pillars into place. You have got your primal branding on point. You've set that train into motion, and you keep it on track with your brand mission. Well, now you've got customers, consumers, community members out there. They, too, are on a quest. You mentioned Travis Haley and Chris Costas.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen them do some phenomenal things with firearms, with their training. As a customer, as a community member, you are on a quest to try to make yourself more like they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very much like the reason that companies will pay so much money for a celebrity endorsement. Because, I want to be like that person.
Yeah.
It's so much less effective now than it used to be, because now people want to be involved in a community. They want to be engaged. They want value to be brought to them. They want to have a place where they can participate and bring value of their own.
Yeah.
You know, just like the comment section of the YouTube channel where people are bringing in their own suggestions. If you filter out all the negative stuff, you have people that are really bringing their own suggestions, their own experiences.
Just like we mentioned in the past podcast, Tesla. He's open to suggestions.
He's always open to suggestions. You can go on Twitter and you can tweet Elon Musk and you can have a real possibility that he will reply and use your suggestion in a product. Mm-hmm. That's true. So you as a customer, you were on this customer quest. Tesla's brand mission is their creed. It is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And so as a customer, you're on a quest to support those things.
Yeah.
It's almost a foregone conclusion that when somebody buys a Tesla, they also start a YouTube channel to cover Tesla and their brand mission. It's true. Go out there and look.
Well, because, it makes sense. You believe in it.
You believe in it.
Speak it to the crowd.
And now you are on a customer quest to be a part of that brand mission. You're trying to, the brand mission and the brand identity is so powerful in your life that you are now trying to return that value.
Yeah.
I can give them money, and I do give them money. I buy products, but I want to give value back to the community.
It's like Starbucks. You walk around with your Starbucks mug, you're pretty much saying, yeah, this is, it's kind of like a silent customer's quest out there. I'm walking around with the Starbucks coffee mug.
I've had this experience today.
Yes.
I would probably highlight more that Starbucks laptop lifestyle.
Oh.
Where people come in, they pop open their laptop.
That's true.
Some people are irritated by that. I don't see why. It's not
That's
hurting
great.
you. It's not bothering you. This is that customer's customer quest. The brand mission is to bring you into the Starbucks and give you this immersive experience. All of your senses, you're hearing things, you're seeing them, you're smelling them, you're tasting them. It's an immersive experience, and then you, as on your customer quest, you know what? I'm going to pop open my laptop. I'm going to be here. I'm going to demonstrate that I enjoy being immersed in this.
Yeah.
That's a lot of value to Starbucks. If you walk into a Starbucks and it's slap empty, that kind of it cools off the vibe of a Starbucks. But if you walk in and there's people that they're speaking in hushed tones, they're typing. They're kind of whispering to each other. It's almost like a library that smells delicious.
Yeah, kind of like a bookstore or what's in that bookstore? Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, you walk in there. They have a Starbucks now in Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah,
it's a great combination of business models.
It's phenomenal because you're walking around. People want to write. They want to read. They want to experience. Yeah. What I see in the Starbucks customer quest when people go into a Starbucks. They see so many people around that they've got notepads and they've got iPads and they've got laptops out. People suddenly they feel a need to be productive.
Yeah.
Which is right in line with the brand mission of caffeinating customers.
I never thought of that.
I mean, seriously.
You're right.
So I think it's a phenomenal brand mission that's complementing the customer quest and that immersive experience that they've carved out with their brand identity. These are all things that as a small business owner that you're starting out, you absolutely not only need to be thinking about, but you can employ. You can take a moment, and if you have a brick and mortar business, you walk in, you look around, look at it as a customer walking in for the first time. What am I experiencing?
Yeah.
What senses am I employing? What am I immersed in right now? And make those changes that are that align with the value that you're trying to bring to the community, the mission that you have your brand on, and the quest that you want your customers to take along with your brand mission.
So when you said that, I thought of a specific walk into a store for the first time. I walked into an Apple store for the first time. Mm-hmm. And it is a totally different experience than any electronic store I've ever walked into. Everything is clean, sharp edge, white. Everything is open.
I've never been in one. It sounds clinical.
It's weird. It is. You walk in, you're like, this is an Apple store. Yeah. It's weird because I could go to Circuit City. Well, is Circuit City around anymore? I can go to
Circuit City, Radio Shack.
There's probably one left somewhere. But you can go into Best Buy. You can go into an electronics store or whatever, anywhere. And it's different. You walk in, they got just electronics everywhere. But you walk into an Apple store, everything is, the tables are all square. Like there's no design in it. It's just plain, like IKEA looking. And there's their phones are sitting out, their computers sitting out, and it's very clean, sharp, and white. Like you think of the future, like the future.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and that's the impression you have of an Apple store. Hey, can I help you with anything? Yeah, I can't get my iPhone. I'll help you out right now.
Well, you stepped into the future, sir.
Yeah.
Come sit down.
And I've seen other companies. Well, okay. So you go to Walmart, to the electronics section, right?
Yep.
There is a carved out Apple section for Apple products that is the same design and flow as the Apple store. It's white, it's bright, has your phone sitting here, has a certain logo, real simplistic. Doesn't have everything spelled out, just Apple.
Meanwhile, you go to a Best Buy, and that brand identity, you've got that purple everywhere with the pops of yellow. But the thing about Best Buy, you walk in, the first thing you hear thumping music from the car stereo section. You always hear thumping music from the car stereo section.
I've never noticed that, but you're right. You do hear something.
You walk in, and there's a higher energy to a Best Buy. There's so much hustle and bustle. People are constantly moving around. Staff never slow down. They're always moving.
Yeah.
Always moving
Yeah.
around. So there's a lot of kinetic energy. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. It's very, very, your eyes and your ears are doing a lot in a Best Buy.
Do you remember? Okay, so back when CDs took over from cassettes.
Okay.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, we're dating ourselves, but I
Yeah.
remember.
So you go to Best Buy to get
Nirvana
CDs.
Nevermind, my first CD,
Yes.
just in case you were wondering.
Mine was a Euro, which is weird.
Well, that is a little weird.
Yeah, I had cassette Nirvana, wore it out. This is the early 90s, right? So you walk into a Best Buy and it has all the CDs, right? In a Best Buy, thumping music, high energy. Or you could go to a local record store and where it had like the posters and T-shirts. It was more of a different vibe for music.
Yes, you were getting in and you were interacting with musicians.
Record Exchange, I think, is a place around here.
Record Exchange was a good one. I think there was another one called School Kids,
I
maybe.
swear I think that's right. That sounds right.
But yeah, so you would go in and you're doing much more interacting because the people that are there, they got to know their stuff because you could sell them CDs, you could sell them records.
Yes. Hey man, have you ever heard of the Kennedys? Oh, the Kennedys' second album. Or if you go to Best Buy and try that, I don't know. Check in the K section. I don't know. Or C section. I'm over trying to sell wash machines, man. I ain't got time. And that's a different brand.
Yes. Yeah, but if you go to the car stereo section of Best Buy, you'll get some people who really know what they're talking about. And so the brand identity, the customer quest, the brand mission, these things all work together to create a customer experience that can't be matched, a brand identity that can't be forgotten, and a brand mission that can't help but be accomplished.
So the next 3 podcasts, we're going to break that down even more.
We're getting
per
into detail.
category.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I love it. Can't wait. That's really going to help out.
I love talking about this stuff. I hope people are really getting value out of it.
I hope so too. Anyway, this is Ash.
Yeah, this is Tiny.
We were AMS LLC, AMS Dynamics. Check us out. Check us out. Go to the website. There's all kinds of features we have on the website now.
AMSDynamics.com.
Yes.
Please, if you like it, just go ahead and click like, follow, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Either way, let us be your dynamic, creative solution.
Yes, sir. Thank you for listening.